Hello and welcome back to the World of AI podcast. My name is Mona Tenjo and I'm here with my co-host André Stamm. André, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I think I'm asking you this question every week.
Every single week, yes. And
It's our intro getting into the topic methodology, right?
that's correct. Yes.
Anyways, today we want to talk a little bit about history. And now don't jump off and like, oh, boring stuff. No, actually not.
It's
Because what
it's
I
really it's
realized,
really short, Mona. It's only 2 minutes and we are done. So it's not so long. AI, it's just rising up last year, something like that.
totally, Chat GPT, like launched in November 2022 and that's it.
That's it. However, we already disclosed that it was 10 years ago that you saw already AI stuff as well.
Yeah.
So say us, when did it start?
It actually started officially in the 50s, 1950s. However, actually, the person who was officially counting as the inventor of AI or the founder of AI is actually already started working in the end of the 40s, so around 1948. We talk about Alan Turing. Alan Turing is officially the founder of the science of AI, right? Not the science fiction writers. They started earlier already, but the official discipline of the scientific discipline of AI was founded officially by Alan Turing. And Alan Turing was actually starting already end of the 40s, thinking about how can we mimic human problem solving. Do you
Did
want
you
to
know
share how
that
he
there
started?
is a Did you know that there is a Turing machine?
Yeah,
Do you
you
know
told me
that?
that. I was like,
Yeah, I told
really?
you
I
yes.
didn't know
I wrote.
that.
Yes. So in my study, in the computer science study, I had to build a Turing machine, and that's based on the basic concept of Turing, and that is nothing other than that you have a program which knows its state. State is something like is the door open or closed, and if the door is open, then the behavior of the program is another behavior than as the door is closed. And that's everybody is using that with the smart technology at home. If the door is open or the window is open, the heating will go down. And that is a Turing machine. Really simple, basic concept, but the basic concept and the simple concepts, that are the huge concepts which are very powerful
Wow. So all our smart devices go back to Alan Turing. Wow.
as well. Yes.
No, really. And I mean, actually, he started thinking about this end of the 40s because he was thinking about how can we let a computer play chess? Huh. So that we don't have to play chess, but the computer is doing it, right? So that was about, so the concept of the thinking machine goes back to him, right? And thinking about, okay, how can we, and again, the focus was how can we mimic human problem solving? So it was never intended to replace us. It's supposed to mimic what we do. Okay. And of course, we are human beings. We are creative, right? So we can do more than the machine normally, hopefully. But that's the basic concept on where it goes back. And that started officially in the 50s, right? Then in the 60s and 70s, we had a real, and I mean, many of the young ones will say, like, what? I've never heard of that. But yes, in the 1960s and 70s, there was a first big rush to AI topics. Investors were putting money in. It was like one of those, wild, wild west, like, hey, uprising topics, like, oh my God, new things coming up, all the scientists talking about it. It was like really like a rising time of AI. And it was actually also the time when the first NLP programs, now we are not talking about reprogramming the mind, okay? NLP in computer science, in AI, stands for natural language processing. Why is that so important, this natural language processing?
Yeah, because computer science is all about languages. Most of the people outside didn't know that. So we have complete sessions about languages. How we can talk or to a computer, but not with the normal language, with the computer program. All the computer programs are own languages with their own syntax and with their own semantic, and that is really important to get the right results. So and the next step with the AI is that they can understand the normal language of the human mind. And that is a complete different story than the language of the computers, the 0 and 1 and something like that. That is also a language as well. Everything is a language.
And it is so important because this allows access to people who don't study computer science, right? So, I mean, I still remember I had to program, like when I was in university or back in school, actually in high school, I was doing my first computer programs back on floppy disks back in the days. Yes, we used floppy disks back in the days. I was developing an entire universe using HTML.
Yep. And
Like, and HTML is also a programming language, right? So if you didn't know how to write in HTML, you didn't get a result. Now,
yeah,
natural language processing actually allows you to say, I want it green. And the system understands, yeah, you want it green. I got it. And I will do it, right?
it's so easy. And even in the past, they said the computer science make it really complex to save their job. So that only special trained people can work with the computers because the language is so different and so difficult to learn. And that's completely changed today.
Totally. Like just think of websites. You needed to have a developer a few years back. Now you don't need anymore. It's getting easier. You can just drag and drop. If you can drag and drop, you're very advanced already today.
And,
Back in the
and
days, you had to program everything. Like to get a drag and drop, you had to actually give the command, pick it up over there, put it over there. You know, nowadays you just drag and drop and it's doing it.
yeah. And even you can say just, I would like to have a website for this business with this colors and so on, and you will get results. You can
Yeah,
just type in what you would like to have the idea and get the results right now. So what
absolutely.
comes next?
Yeah, so I mean, we were in this like 60s, 70s, and everybody was super excited. And the first actually announced winner of an AI tool beating a chess grandmaster was actually predicted for the end of the 70s. But then we had the AI winter.
Yeah.
Everything died down. What happened in that phase?
At this time, there was we have not the capacity for the computers. So we have the limitation of the physics of the processor of all the stuff we need to figure out. And even at this time, they said there's a limit. We cannot go further special physics, and we will have a cut with the computer technology. But with the time evolving, all the limits are going down, and we are right now within the quantum physics level, and that is the processor technology we have right now. And with this technology, we can calculate the AI stuff, and that we are simulating the neurons of a brain, actually, of a human brain.
Absolutely. And so this limitation in technology, so basically we didn't have enough computing power. It wasn't able to process data as quickly as we needed them. And therefore, obviously the interest of investors went down, you know, they pulled the money out and obviously there was not so much you could do until in the late 90s, we got the next uplifting phase where we had some breakthroughs in computing power. So it was getting quicker. Like there was new chip generations that were processing information quicker. Also, the machine learning algorithms improved. So that means they were able to get results quicker without needing that long calculations that were needed before. So the combination of better algorithms and more computing power actually allowed for bigger operations, which led to, you want to share what happened in the chess games?
In the chess games, yeah, yeah, that was the first time that the computer really won the first chess game against
Against a chess grandmaster, which was Garry Kasparov.
Garry Kasparov.
So
Yes,
the man, and it was actually happening in 1997, the biggest chess player of the time. First of all, he won. We have to admit that he won against the machine as well. But then the second game, he lost only by 1 point. It was very close.
very
But
close.
the machine won, and this is again what gave the publicity, obviously, right, to the industry to say like, oh my god, it was able to beat a chess grandmaster, you know, which gave again the investment money, the capital, and then obviously the improvements that followed were a big consequence of that big publicity shot, right? And Garry Kasparov is also still earning a lot of money because of that, because he's known for that. He's a consultant. I mean, he's working a lot with AI tools, actually, right?
He's doing that. Yes, yes. We had
Yeah.
the chance to met him 2 years ago, something like
Yeah, me
that.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, yeah,
that
it
was
was
great. Yeah,
great. He is brilliant. Like he can play like 5 chess games at the same time and be interviewed and have fun and still win the games. Like it's crazy. He has
it's
them,
really crazy.
and
Yes,
he's really answering also very intelligently. So you know that he really knows his stuff, right? And he's really like, I mean, again, when it comes to computer technology, it's a lot about logic, right? At the end of the day, it's
it's
logic.
a it's logic, it's calculation, it's a lot of math as well, mathematic, and yeah, it is. So at this time, around this time, we saw in the movies as well the rise of Skynet, right? That is also
Yeah,
an
totally.
AI, a really big AI, and it's not used for the best for the world. However, with that is really an issue we would like to address as well, because we have to use AI in the right way, and we both are looking for the right use of AI, and as well as for the privacy. But Skynet is a really great example of a rising AI.
Totally. And then we happen to have entered in the 2000s, which obviously, like what happened in the 2000s, actually in 1998, Google was founded, right? But in the 2000s, they started actually getting like market reach, right? And I mean, with obviously the availability of the data, we got another boost in AI. Why is data so important for AI?
Because AI is it's really a brain which is learning. So we are not writing a program which is the AI. The AI is as the human mind. It's a computer, the brain, and the data which is trained and which where the AI can learn how to behave and how to get the right results. And that is and Google is using us with the search machine. There's so much information behind of that, so that they need to have algorithm which finds the important information and provides important information. But that is also a lot of responsibility for the companies, because they have the filter to get the what is right. So we have to find the right way for that as well. But it's a lot of AI.
So basically, guys, if you did not hear that right now, Google is AI. If you didn't know that, if you're using Google, you're already using AI, okay? Because all these suggested results, they come based on a probability calculation, what you potentially like to see. And it learns and it gets better. And with all the data that the internet actually made available, especially with Google, right? This is what is feeding the learning algorithm, which is why it's now today as good as it is, because Google enabled the data availability. So that's why this is so important. If without Google, we wouldn't be today where we are. Maybe another tool would have jumped in. We don't know,
For
right?
sure, for
But
sure.
it was required to actually train AI, because before we always had very limited data sets, right? What the scientists put in was what was there. But now with the internet, we have worldwide knowledge. I mean, I don't know how many millions of data sets are uploaded each second, right? So there's like so much information that now the system can actually access to learn and do its magic. And the more data is in, the more the system can actually do with it, which
Yeah.
is now guiding us in the 2010s, where AI suddenly goes mainstream. And I said like 2010s, not 2022. 2010, the
Quite some
third big
time ago.
wave started. So actually 14 years ago, the third wave of AI started, right? Which is then really going into advancing deep learning, advancing the neural networks that André was just speaking about, right? We have breakthroughs in image and speech recognition. You remember that times when you spoke into a car and was like, I want to go to
Oh.
airport Berlin. Hey, you want to go
Okay.
to Stuttgart. Awesome.
It
Like
happens
that.
all the time, and my family make fun with me if I say something to my car and okay, I understand that. No, it's it didn't work at this time with my voice, and my wife it worked fine every single time. But however, and that changed right now.
Totally. And I mean, again, like a lot of the stuff that we used to make jokes about, I mean, we are using like, I mean, how long is Alexa already around? Siri,
Oh,
right? All of these voice assistants are AI based. So if you are like, I'm not using AI, but you're using Amazon, well, you're actually also using AI because Amazon uses a lot of AI in the background to give you product suggestions. Hey, would you also like, who did not see that? Like, hey, would you also like this? Actually, it's quite interesting. I like that. They are really, I mean, this is why Amazon is so brilliant because they're using these technologies to improve the purchasing experience, which makes us like, oh my God, we love that system because it always knows what we want.
yeah.
Wonder why.
And that is a great example. I guess right now we are 10 years ago, 10 years in the past. We will come quite soon to the present and to the future, maybe the next episode. However, how would it like to be to have a private Siri? And you would say, what is the name for you? For it's not Siri. It's a Jarvis, I guess. I would like to have a private Jarvis,
Yeah.
a personal assistant, and that will be one of the way for the next episode we can go into it. But what comes after Siri?
I mean, basically, we are in the current phase. So the current phase kicked off in 2010, right? So 2010. We had obviously some big players like IBM who started creating their Watson, which is again an assistant. That's why they gave it the name Watson and not Sherlock, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, that came around 2010. And I mean, basically, it's like a big machine. We know from SAP. SAP has HANA, right? HANA is also an AI system. It uses like I still remember like I'm not going to say the company name where I was at by that time, but it is a very big German company that everybody worldwide knows. They are doing like worldwide knows. Everybody knows this company. And basically, we were consulting them and helping them improve their purchasing systems. And in the part of that project, they actually told us that SAP is trying to sell them HANA. And in order to get that project done, they would need to build another data center next to their own for another 200 million. And they were like, no, we are not doing that. At the end, they got HANA. So I assume they found a different way of doing that, right? But I mean, this was like 2014 that this was
yeah,
discussed, right? So big companies use AI for a long time. I worked at a big company in 2017, and we already started with robotic process automation, also RPAs, which is like little automating flows where you can say, if this, do this, and then do this, right? And I mean, back in the days, they were still very unstable, so they didn't work always perfect, you know. Again, that was like 6, 7 years ago, 7, 8 years close. So, I mean, these tools develop so fast and they get so quick better. Again, the more data they have, the better they become. So we are right now in a cycle, and this is where we are going to end up today. And then next session, we go about the future, right? I mean, most of the public knows about AI since 2022 November when Chat GPT was open. I know a person who's now in his early 20s. This guy already started playing with Chat GPT when he was 15. So he had access to that before the public had. And he was like, you guys have no idea what that thing actually can do because you just have like the end user version.
yeah.
There's more behind, you know? So
There's a lot
we
more.
want to use this podcast also to train you guys to like think bigger. Many of the things that people put in your hands is actually more powerful than you think because they just tell you the end user version. But there's more to it if you want to use it in a creative, productive way. There's more to it than you see in first glance.
Yeah. And if you have an idea what you would like to do and you have no idea how to get to the space or to get it done, maybe right now that is the time you have to consider AI. Can I use AI to get to my goal quicker, faster, cheaper, or is it even enabling it that you can do it right now and you couldn't do it in the past?
Totally. And the
Totally.
time frames get shorter. So usually
Oh yeah.
companies used to buy like 10, 20-year cycles. Now you
No.
really think from a month to month basis. Like,
Yeah.
because in a monthly frequency, the tools get better. So guys, for you guys, if you buy products, buy it on a monthly subscription plan. Because if you don't like it, get rid of it and get another tool. Don't get the annual packages because they're just not worth it. You don't even know if that tool is still around 1 year from now because they may either, be bought up by another competitors. There's a lot of dynamic in the market. So I recommend all my clients only buy monthly subscriptions, try it out. If you don't like it, get rid of it and try another one.
Right.
Don't be like, don't fall in love with a tool and say like, oh, I want to have this tool forever. Don't do that. Things are moving too quick right now to stick with one and
Yeah.
never look beyond that.
Yeah, right. The business model are changing a lot, so it's so fast. In the past, I was with the CEO of a software development company, and we are used to development cycles with DOS. Yeah, really, it's a long time ago. Or
I
with
still know those.
Windows, it's 7 years. After 7 years, the software is rewritten. 7 years is nothing. With a change with the application with the Apple and Google phones, Android phones, the development cycle is at the beginning it was 2 years, something like that. Today it's months. If you are not upfront within months, it's not working, and you can get to this point with AI already. So even in this field that well, it's a really interesting time, and I'm looking forward to the future. And we will have a session about what can we do in the future, and what can you do as a businessman or as an employee to use AI to get your time free, to get more fun, and that's the way it is. Why we are here on this planet, to have fun and to get the things done.
And guys, times are getting exciting. So next episode, we look into the future, and we cannot even look that far in the future because, like as we said before already, right? 70% of jobs will not even exist today. That will exist in 2030. So guys, the changes we are in right now are so extreme that we cannot even foresee where they will go to. But we are still going to give you a glance of where AI is going to in the future in the next episode. And yeah, buckle up, guys. The speed is kicking really big in. So we're also going to explain the waves and why this is right now such a critical phase for everybody to really jump on, because many people I talk to are like, I don't know why everybody's always pushing me to do this AI thing. There's time. Well,
No,
next time we tell you there's not. So
there's not. Yes.
stay tuned for that, okay?
Yeah. So if you like this session, then please like this and subscribe to our channel and provide information out to the world. We would really appreciate that.
Exactly. Thumbs up, subscribe, share it, give us a 5-star rating, please, on all the different tools that are out there, right? Wherever you listen, it, Spotify, Apple, wherever it is, right? And then, of course, tell other people about it. And if you have questions, of course, send them over. Also, if you have comments, send them over. That's fine. We also read those ones, right? So we are happy to hearing from you. And with that, next week we are back with the future.
See you next
Bye.
week. Have a great time. Bye bye.